Please read with a gentle tone. Ethan, a young investor from New York, had always viewed the world through the lens of numbers and profits. He arrived in Vietnam with a lucrative contract, a project to develop a luxury resort in a pristine coastal area, cocooned by the comforts of a five-star hotel and intense meetings. He dined in upscale restaurants, traveled by private chauffeur-driven car, and rarely interacted with the daily life of the local people, except when necessary for business transactions. He looked at the laborers on the streets, the street vendors, the old bicycles with an almost indifferent detachment. In his mind, they were merely part of the background. Nothing more, nothing less. Ethan asked his driver to take him to a large supermarket. He bought a lot of rice, instant noodles, milk, cooking oil, and other necessities. He didn't know what he was going to do with them. He simply felt the need to buy them. Helping others, sowing seeds of goodness. He asked Long to find a way to deliver these items to those who really needed them. Long not only agreed, but also enthusiastically offered to help. He knew a few poor villages nearby where many people were facing hardship. His driver, a gentle middle-aged man named Long, looked at him with surprised eyes. He gained the trust and support of the local authorities and the people. He was no longer the cold investor who only knew numbers. She was now healthier, her hair completely white, but her eyes still sharp. Your life will always be prosperous, not only in money, but also in love. He had found what he had been missing all along. It wasn't money, power, or fame. When Ethan, from someone indifferent and only concerned with personal gain, opened his heart to help those in need, he sowed seeds of goodness. The act of giving necessities, building a school, regardless of who we are or where we come from, sowing seeds of love and helping others will always bring sweet fruits, not only to those who are helped, but also back to ourselves in many different forms. Life becomes more meaningful and richer when we know how to live for others, knowing how to give without expecting anything in return, or simply taking the time to listen and share were the good causes he created, but love, sharing, and the meaning of life. He had once thought he came to Vietnam to exploit, but it turned out that Vietnam had opened his heart, teaching him about a priceless asset, kindness. She recognized Ethan immediately, and a radiant smile lit up her face. She held his hand tightly, saying words of gratitude that Ethan didn't fully understand. But he felt the warmth and sincere appreciation in every syllable. He had become an active member of the community, a reliable friend to the local people. But more importantly, he found happiness and peace in his soul. He was loved and respected by everyone and had a truly fulfilling life, prosperous not only materially, but also emotionally. He found joy in helping others, in the smiles he brought about. Business partners also felt more confident working with someone who was not only good at business, but also had a kind heart. In Ethan's mind, Vietnam was a promising market to exploit, a place to make money and solidify his position on the international business map. He no longer saw them as elements of the background, but as individuals with stories, worries, and hopes. He realized that wealth was not just in bank accounts, but also in the ability to share and bring joy to others. Yesterday, I saw a group of people in the flooded alley, Doc. They looked like they needed help. He spent more time learning about Vietnamese culture, customs, and the lives of the people. He studied Vietnamese seriously, not just to communicate at work, but also to better understand the stories he was beginning to hear. He participated in charity activities, spending weekends helping orphanages and nursing homes. He even used a portion of the profits from his project to build a small school in a remote rural area. During his initial days in Vietnam, Ethan lived in his own world. Ethan's project progressed rapidly. Ethan returned to the hotel, but the image of that group of people lingered in his thoughts. That night, he lay awake. Ethan saw, surprise, looks turn into joy and gratitude. A frail old woman tremblingly took his hand, her eyes welling up with tears. A skinny child hugged a carton of milk tightly, a pure smile blooming on their face that melted Ethan's heart. For the first time, he felt a strange urge, a desire to do something, however small. He was intelligent, decisive, and unafraid to face challenges. Yet, deep down, there was an emptiness he couldn't name. Ethan's car got stuck in a small alley due to flooding after a heavy rain. The smell of mud, the incessant honking, and the worried faces of the locals made Ethan feel uncomfortable. He looked out the window with annoyance, silently cursing the inconvenience of this city. The increasing numbers in his bank account, the compliments from colleagues, or the lavish parties did not fill that void. He often wondered if he was missing something greater beyond material goals. One afternoon, while returning to the hotel after a stressful meeting, suddenly he saw a group of people huddled under the eaves of a dilapidated house. There were elderly people, women, and children with worn clothes and tired eyes. An elderly woman, her face etched with hardship, but her eyes still showing resilience, was trying to shield a skinny child from the rain. That scene, though fleeting, etched itself into Ethan's mind in a strange way. The car finally managed to get out of the puddle. The next morning, instead of going straight to the office, "Boss, what are you planning to do with all this?" Long asked, his voice full of curiosity. Ethan hesitated, then said, I want to help the needy." Long smiled, a warm and sincere smile. "Boss has a kind heart. Here, we call that giving alms." Ethan didn't understand much about those concepts, but he felt a sense of relief hearing Long's words. Together with Long, Ethan experienced a completely different day. They went to makeshift houses, dilapidated shacks, and personally handed over the small but meaningful gifts. For the first time, Ethan felt a real connection with these people. In the following days, Ethan began to change. Ethan's project continued to grow strongly, even more favorably than before. 5 years passed, and Ethan decided to settle in Vietnam. One day, while walking through the local market, Ethan happened to meet the old woman he had helped years ago. "You planted good seeds, boss," the old woman said, through Long's translation. "Now you are reaping sweet fruits." Ethan looked at the old woman, then at Long, and smiled. Ethan's story is a clear demonstration of the law of cause and effect, or what you sow, you reap. Because of those compassionate actions, Ethan's life changed positively. He not only became more successful in his work, gaining the trust and support of everyone. The lesson here is that kindness and sharing are never in vain.